my thoughts and dreams. You and I were just same. You are everything and everything else, and you are good to me. You live on faithfully. You are everything that I wish that I could be. Up in front, headlights, preaching wrong and right. You gathered ashes, you blocked off the flashes, and you are wonderful, giving me all the world in bits and pieces, so I could create the more.
Good afternoon, everybody. This is Jeanette. I just sang into the microphone. This is What's Really Good show on Skies Crescent Radio, as you can see and hear. Today, we are doing something a little different. I've got a guest here with me today, and we'll introduce him in a second. Hold on. I'm trying to get my life together with these headphones. Hold on. Can you hear me? Okay, good. So today is going to be a music show because there's been some fantastic music that has come out in the month of September. And we're just focusing on the month of September because we do this the fourth show of every month. The fourth Sunday of every month. Some fantastic music, and I'm going to show you all what I listen to because I'm very opinionated. So maybe now I can give you all a sense of what I like. So you all understand that I'm not just a hater, but I have standards and I have like certain things that I enjoy listening to. And I wanted to bring my guest in today because he is a vocalist, an actor, a cultural commentator. I'm going to use that for you. You need to put that on your resume because it works. What else could you call yourself?
I'm just a good kid, you know.
You are a good kid.
And I like good stuff.
You do like good stuff.
And I, too, have a standard.
You do.
That I'm not going to take down.
No, and you shouldn't.
It's never going to change.
And what is your name?
My name is Darell.
Oh, no. We lost you. Hold on, where'd you go? Is he still here? Oh, there we go.
Oh, there we go.
Oh, don't bang on the table.
Oh, gotcha.
We're not playing spades or spoons.
Went out again.
Oh, switch mics. We're going to switch mics. So that is Darell J. Hunt, a transplant from North Carolina to New York.
Come on, South.
Come on, South. Most of my favorite people are from the South. Mila says, Darell! Mila Machiko. Hold on. Let me turn around so you can see.
What up, Mila? How you doing?
We are here chit-chatting and listening to music. Now, if you guys have music that you love and that you want to... Oh, my Lord Jesus. I just dropped the live.
It's all right. It's all right.
If you guys have music that you want us to feature, I'm always down to feature new people. So just a reflection about... this month. I'd like to start and end with reflections. And yesterday was the Smithsonian Museum Day. So there were a list of museums that you could go to around the country that were free, that are normally not free or are participating. Yesterday, I went to the Rubin Museum with a friend of mine, and the Rubin is beautiful. Take some time to go out and check it out if you haven't. It is a museum dedicated to Himalayan Buddhist Hindu art. And it was really cool to see different cultures and the way that people express themselves and the history of those things. Some things that I observed while I was there, not just the art, but the way that we take in art is very interesting. Art is a word that people don't always like to use, but this is fine art, so I will use it. Mm-hmm. And what I realized is that we have a tendency as people, as human beings, to have to always understand something. We always have to, we won't ingest it unless we know what it is. In most ways, that's good. You know, you don't want to ingest anything poisonous. Mm-hmm. But oftentimes, we have to have a label for something in order to take it in, rather than just experiencing it. Mm-hmm. I believe... My theory for art is mostly, and this is all art, is that it's made to be experienced and not necessarily understood, especially not in the moment.
Right.
With music, as a musician, I make music in the moment. I make music to record. I make music for you to ingest. But I also want you, especially if it's live, to be in the moment and experiencing it. So with that, I just challenge anybody that's listening and anybody that wants to stay in the moment. As I I was an actor for a little bit. I gave that life up. But one of the best things that I learned from Meisner was to stay in the moment. And to be with the people or with the event that you're in the room with, which is really hard in this day and age of technology and media and things like that. Yes. But that's my little piece about art, and about doing art, ingesting art, and also just living. Like, don't be in the room with people and enjoy people and love on them in the moment, and don't wait. And that's a little bit a part of the show as well, musically today. Oh, let's see, we're not charging. So with that, Jade, the playlist goes in order. So we've got a playlist today that I made. Hit me up on SoundCloud. I've got two SoundCloud. There we go. I've got two SoundCloud profiles. So I can go live. I know you is, and I'm trying to charge mine so that I can stay live. Staying alive. So we're going to go into the first two songs on the playlist. Hold on, Jay, don't go into them yet because I have like a note about them. So I feel like one of those NPR radio people. That's because that's my dream.
I've done those interviews before. On Wake Forest's campus. It is amazing. Like, it's in a house. It's a huge setup.
Oh my God.
Like, so amazing.
I want to so bad. I went to Sirius Radio and did an interview with Clay Kane.
I love Clay.
He's amazing.
Yeah.
He's amazing. So I did an interview with him a couple months ago and I was just like, I want this to be my life. What am I doing? What do I need to do? So the first two songs I'm going to play are No Name. Have you listened to her new album? Do you know who No Name is?
I think so. But I'm always listening to so much old stuff.
I know, exactly. So all of this is new. So I'm going to hip you to some stuff.
Okay, good.
So No Name just came out with her, I think this is her second album or her second offering. And this is the first track off of that called Self. And then we're going to listen to a friend of mine, Brandon Evan Molden. If I mess up your name, I'm sorry. Your track off of the EP that you released, Bridges, Do Me No Favors. So we're going to listen to those two tracks first and then come back and talk to y'all about them.
Maybe this an album you listen to in your car when you're driving home late at night, really questioning every god, religion, Kanye bitches. Maybe this is an entrance before you get to the river, a heaven before the heathen, no reason for you to like me. Maybe this your wife, you just wanting a clean divorce. The baby ain't really yours, it's really for baby's teeth and the chicken wings under season. Y'all really thought a bitch couldn't rap, huh? Maybe this your answer for that. A crack era, the Reagan administration that niggas are still scared of. Nah, actually, this is for me. This one for TT at the wake, serving the mac and the cheese. This one a small apology for all the calls that I scream. Mr. Money Man, Mr. Everyday, he got me. Mr. Wiping me down, Mr. Me Love, Mr. Miyagi. Miscellaneous, Mr. Molly inside my sake. Incredible emptiness in my body. Heaven's only 4 feet tall, I set my ringer to it. Fuck your rapper, homie, now his ass is making better music. My pussy teacher 9th grade English. My pussy wrote a thesis on colonialism and conversation with a marginal system in love with Jesus. And y'all still thought a bitch couldn't rap, huh? Maybe that's your answer for that. Good pussy. I know niggas only talk about money and good pussy.
Do me no favors, tell me no lies. This can't be your idea of love divine. You think I'm dumb, you think I can't see that what I want and need ain't what you're giving me. Do me no favors, tell me no lies. This can't be your idea of love divine. You think I'm dumb, you think I can't see that what I want scale of 10, let's begin, it's the reckoning. So you think I'm a loser, and that I'll let you be my user. But I beg to differ, this nice guy might confuse ya. Maybe if I was another, you could pull the wool over the eyes of this brother. But I'm noticing you be pulling stuff with your sister, your brother, your father, and your mother. You got it twisted, you thought I missed it. When you twisted, you lost my respect. Now you get blacklisted, cause I'm not the one to keep your one and only. So what did you think I let you pull this kind of baloney? Don't need no fake.
Yes. Yeah. Did you like them?
They were amazing.
Yo, so firstly, No Name. I first heard No Name on one of Chance the Rapper's mixtapes. She's from Chicago. And I was like, oh, I like, yo, she's dope. Mad soft-spoken. And she talks about that a lot, like in her social media life. She talks about like being soft-spoken and not rapping loud and whatever. It's really dope.
Yeah.
Musically, this album is so much different than the other one, the previous one, Telephone, and I love the music on this one. Some of the tracks I feel like she has a tendency to be overpowered by the music, which I don't like, but that first one I was like, bruh, this is like the best way to set up a day, an album, and anything. Like, it's such a nice moment.
I was trying to take it all in, but she is laid back and soft spoken, but the energy and the vibe I got from it is her take on being underestimated.
Word. Yes.
You know, and I was talking with a friend of mine. She's amazing. Her name is Tamara Fingal. She talks about being when she has to deal with musicians and deal with producers and stuff like that. She says sometimes she has to be a bit more assertive because she's a woman, and she's always approached in a certain way. So she says I have to balance how much I can give, or how do I just need to be even and professional, you know, because of course if a man is assertive, he's about his business. Exactly. If a woman is assertive, she's that name.
Exactly.
You know, what they love to
when
throw
it's
on there.
crazy, and it's crazy because we're still going through that today. Like as much as women have proved themselves, which they don't have to, but in this world we particularly have to, especially black women or women of color. Forget it.
And how she kept talking about things in the content, and she was saying, we did all this, I did all that, I did all this, and you still thought I couldn't love, or you still thought I couldn't do it. So I like her approach to being underestimated, and she's not going to shout or scream about it. She's going to stay in her vein, and she's going to do what works for her.
You know what this kind of reminds me of? When Solange put out A Seat at the Table. I was weary about it at first because, first of all, I love Solange. Ben loved her. But I was like, man, this doesn't sound like protest music to me. And I was like, well, hold up. I have to recognize that not everybody protests the same. Right. So just because it's not for me doesn't mean that it's not valid. And I think these two albums can go kind of hand in hand. No Names is not as full of that kind of stuff, but it definitely has it in it, which is amazing. And then Brandon, this EP came out like a couple weeks ago, and I was just like, oh my god! And it's so good. Like the whole thing. He does a cover of Sweet Georgia Brown. It's 11 minutes long, so I was like, I can't play it on the radio today, but
I'll be listening tonight.
It's great. I'm gonna link everything to everybody. So, Darell, what have you been listening to? What have you been doing? How's life?
Life is good. Just one day at a time. New York hustle, artist life. I sound like this because this was a very busy week vocally. I was a part of a reading for Titus Burgess's The Preacher's Wife. So we had two presentations on Thursday. Hoping that takes on it. We can take it to Broadway. Yes. Very soon. Band gigging. The summertime, it's hot. That's what we do to stack away a little cash. And just remaining kind of true to who I am. Dealing with the idea and the perspective of, am I an artist? Am I an employee? What am I doing? Am I making work that benefits people like me or my community,
Yeah.
Should I audition and be a part of something that doesn't do anything for anybody other than earn money? Or should I just, budget a little bit more and work from my heartstring?
Yeah.
So that's where I always am.
Yeah.
And sometimes that I catch a lot of flack. Like you said, we have a standard. I catch a lot of flack on social media. A lot of flack on social media. Based on some of the opinions that I have. And I have slowly started to understand over time, over the last couple of years, where I should invest my energy in certain conversations and where I shouldn't.
Yes.
I made a comment. I can't remember what it was born out of, but I was like, I'm not being mean. I'm not being whatever. But if you've been hitting play all your life on CDs, if you've been playing records, if you've been turning knobs on radio, if you haven't been an artist contributing to making art, if you haven't paid your bills by your talent or your craft as an artist, then your opinion should be a little less abrasive about certain things. I'm not an H&R Block telling them how to mash buttons when they're doing my taxes.
Exactly.
I'm not telling the conductor on MTA how to drive this train.
Yep.
I may suggest that they be on time, but I understand my lane and my voice is strong in certain areas and it's softer in other areas. So it's just basically trying to juggle myself as an artist who works as Nina Simone suggested and reflect the times that you live in. So
Absolutely.
that's kind of me in a big all around nutshell.
I love it. And I think it's a good representation of you. Like, of course you can speak about yourself, but you did that very well, like very clearly, so that people that don't know you will understand.
Listen, as you age,
Yes.
I'll be 39 next month. As you age, you get clarity about who you are.
Yeah. Oh Lord, I'm going through that as we speak.
You get clarity about what you can deal with, what you can't deal with, and what the second guy, his song, what's his name?
Brandon.
His song, I felt the energy of, listen, just tell me the truth,
right? Yes.
Like, just tell me the truth.
Yes.
And a lot of times relationships sour and weaken because people don't want to tell the truth.
Can you say that again, please?
A lot of times.
You might have to say that lots of times.
Relationships sour and they weaken because people don't want to, tell the truth.
Absolutely.
Whether it's a friendship, if it's platonic, if it's romantic.
Whatever it is.
A lot of times we don't want to have that 10-minute of uncomfortableness within your conversation so that you can move on to clarity and health, because you don't want to deal with that one moment, well, I'm not confrontational. That's not really confrontational if you know the person.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? We brother and sister. If I want to talk to you about something, I'd be like, Jenny, let's go grab a coffee or let's grab a glass of wine and we can talk. But some people are so afraid to a certain sense because they're afraid of rejection.
Yes.
Or they're afraid that they might be perceived the wrong way.
Yeah.
And a lot of times I can come on very strongly, borderlining harsh. If it's somebody that I love, and I feel like they're getting in their own way,
absolutely. I have a story about that. These past 2 weeks of my life have been quite tumultuous, not of my doing, but I inserted myself in things, and I only inserted myself in things because I felt like for a long time I didn't insert myself because I was like, it's their problem. I might be literally here in the moment, but that's not for me to deal with.
Right.
But I've realized that as a person, I have a bigger personality than some. And sometimes I do need to step in because someone might be drowning and I need to go on and help them. Just be lifeguard.
Right.
And what I found is that in these experiences, and it's made me be more observant of men, especially, of men, and very cisgender, straight men.
Yes.
As a straight woman, not looking to be romantic with these men, like the men get uptight about conversations that need to be had as a platonic person. Like we have a platonic relationship, and when things get heated, just because you're a man, I'm not going to back down.
Right.
Maybe I should sometimes. Like I was definitely like in the middle of a fight, but no punches were thrown because everybody was holding people back.
Right.
But and I've never been in a fight before in my life. other than like my brothers.
I haven't been in a fight since I was probably about 16.
That's a good thing.
Yeah.
It's a good thing.
I don't see how people brawl every week. Like,
I don't
what is
understand.
your life? Like,
I don't understand. It takes so much energy out of you. Like,
Right.
bro, what are you doing? Like, go meditate. Go not hang out with those people.
walk away.
Walk away. But like, there was a moment where I couldn't walk away. And I was just
Gotcha.
like, no, I need to be here in this moment. But I've realized that a lot of straight men do not like to have what they claim to be uncomfortable conversations with women.
Yeah.
And this happened in person, and then this happened online.
Mm-hmm.
When men are, my friend Lee, shout out to Lee, Lee Colston the third,
Mm-hmm.
I believe, or junior, whatever. I'm sorry, Lee. He posted something about posing a question. Why should, this is only for black men, why should black women trust black men?
Mm-hmm.
As a group,
Mm-hmm.
everybody, well, he posed the question for the group
Right.
of black men, not for
Right.
singular black men. And what we're seeing kind of overarching is this idea of hashtag not all men.
Right.
And it's like, of course we know that it's not all, like, y'all, it's the same, it's not the same thing, but like, hashtag Black Lives Matter, hashtag Me Too. Of course, it's not going to be everybody. Not everybody has had these experiences, but you have to understand that the group,
Yeah.
the bigger,
Yeah.
is a thing, and all of us contribute to it. So your personal actions have contributed to this. Dude had to just be like, yada, 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 yada. And then he was like, then he said something that was a joke. And he said afterwards, it was like, oh, but I'm joking. This is for entertainment purposes. I was like, no, it's not.
No.
Like, it doesn't have to be. Like, we can have this conversation. He's like, well, I'm trying to break the tension. There's no tension, bruh. And then I just stopped talking because then everybody else went and started talking to
Right.
him. I was just like, I can't
Yeah.
do this.
And see, a lot of people, I tell people a lot of times, my social media spaces are not the threshing floor for your sociological ills.
There it is.
We can talk, we can converse, but at some level, you need to speak to a professional. You need to lay on a couch, get you some breakthroughs before you start conversing with people openly.
Absolutely.
And these responses to movements for equality are normally rooted in people being brought up or reared or guided in the wrong way.
Yep.
There was a while back, I stopped saying, I know all people aren't yada get it. I stopped saying
You
that.
have to.
Because anybody who sits or hovers at a certain level of consciousness or comprehension or a certain level of education, I'm not talking about specifically the academy, a 4-year degree or whatever.
No.
Education in
Yes.
general, life wisdom. We all know that all human beings are not this, that, and the third.
Correct.
All people are not cis, boom, bop. We know that, but the ill still exists. So we have to talk about it.
Exactly.
And I often find that the people who come with that rebuttal of, well, not all, they're the most inflexible. They don't want to hear anything. They don't know how to compromise. It's always them. And I've had to have conversations and people have checked me where I have lived under the umbrella of being an other because I'm black, I'm gay, I'm not rich.
Word.
So that knocks me out of a lot of boxes. And sometimes it isn't brought to my attention that I have kind of acted like the martyr or the victim.
Okay,
And
yeah.
I've spoken out of that insensitively. But I've also stood corrected and said, I see that. Thank you.
Yes.
And I worked very hard
Yep.
to improve those things. A lot of people don't want to hear the conversation from the people that they're bothering or they're harming or that they're knocking upside the head.
Yep.
So I definitely see that. I'm glad that in your moment you were able to speak up and be clear and assert yourself, because a lot of times us men from childhood, teen years, high school, college, young adult, it's always about us. We are bigger. We are stronger. We are faster. We have access to more money. I asked a friend of mine one time, I said, we're both tall. I'm 6'5", big long arms, just, big old grown man. I asked him, I said, have you ever even considered how women do or do not feel unsafe as they move about in the world, knowing that most times they are not physically able to overpower a man who might desire to harm them? If you don't have a gun, even if you do, unless you're trained or you're proficient, you still exist in a space where you're not able to protect. Your level of agency is less than someone else on a physical scale.
Absolutely.
And a lot of people don't consider that. When I'm on the train, I realize I'm 6'5" and I have long arms. So I kind of keep my arms down.
Yeah.
Because I've bumped into people. I've elbowed shorter people, especially if you're just behind me off my shoulder. That's my blind side. Like if you're driving in a car, there's a blind spot. You know, and a lot of people just aren't that aware of the world around them, especially in New York. Because everybody's trying to get where they need to go. They're trying to earn $1 so they can pay all this high rent. Can we cuss on here?
Yes.
They're trying to pay all this high ass rent. You know, so a lot of times the human element or human existence is thrown out of the window because everybody's like, I got to do me. And I had to dial that down. Maybe like the second year I moved here, I was on edge. Yeah. Get out of the door. Get on the train. And I was like, wait a minute. This ain't me. Yeah. I need to pull it down. Yep. And I need to exist at a more human level, but still vibrate and resonate at a higher level.
I think that's the biggest thing. And I think that's what people, there's so many distractions. And to vibrate on a higher level and consistently takes a lot of work that people sometimes just don't have the time for. Or excuse me, I'm going to change that because that's not true. They don't make the time for it because they don't believe they have the time for it, and it's not a priority of theirs. But it's truly a priority. And one thing that we'll get back to it is that music and anything that you consume has vibrations. Anything that you consume, and that's why it's so important to me to consume certain things. I'm not going to listen to something or support something that I don't believe is, my level of vibration, my level of standard, whatever it may be. With that, I'd like to continue on our playlist quest. We've got one of my favorite, all of the syllables, musicians, Georgia Ann Muldrow, with a track off of her upcoming album. It's called, the album is called Overload, and I think this track is called Aerosol. Then her Brain Feeder, record label mate, Brandon Coleman with All Around the World. So check out these two songs, y'all. Cool. There might be advertisements.
I walked all the way, all the way.
I saw leaves in the grass, bright balloons with kids attached, bold as love, pigeons pass, finding banquets in the trash, boulevards, avenues, change of scenery and class that contrast in a flash when I cross the railroad tracks. All the way. I walked all the way. Face brick walls over paint, alchemy that once contained aerosol, classics teeth, masterpieces rise again, fresh cut fruit on street carts, dressed in them and chili salt, bittersweet as the start, snaps around like arthropods. All the way. I walked all the way. Sawbones break for a smoke under concrete canopies. Ambulances full speed past the red lights in the street.
Defense Sean Blitz, the dude on the far side bleacher swagged all the way out. He's in motion and headed towards the marching band. The ball is snapped, and the student section is wilding. Touchdown! Whether you're on the drum line or the D line, this season, bring it all.
I just flew down to Barcelona, off to the next one in Tokyo. Come with me, baby, be my lady. I wanna take you with me and keep it on the go. I tried my best to follow my visions. I know it might be
Yeah.
Yeah, that was nice.
Wasn't it?
Yeah.
Georgia Ann, I first heard her, admittedly, after she had been kind of on the scene for a while. She did a track, or Mos Def remixed a track of hers on one of his albums, the last album he did as Mos Def.
Right.
And the song is called Roses, and it's her song, but then he did a rap verse to it. I was like, yo, who is this voice?
Right.
And Georgia Ann has produced so many people. Like, she's a producer, she's a songwriter.
Love it.
And I love her, and I always love to find multifaceted and multi-talented women on this scene. And I just love her voice. Like, it's such a funk vibe. Like, vocally, I just love it. And she works really well for the Brain Feeder record label. The Brain Feeder record label is Thundercat and Flying Lotus. I think it's Flying Lotuses. Who I love. So it's, out in LA, and it's just a funky ass vibe, and I love love it.
Yeah.
Love it.
And it's like, everybody doesn't get funk anymore.
Yeah.
So she presents it in a way that's more accessible, like, to current generations, because they think of funk, they think of like Shaka, Rufus, Slop, and they can't exactly relate to it. They can say, "Oh, that's cool because my mama liked it," but I like that she. It's a bit more tangible to people, younger people today.
And the Brandon Coleman track, All Around the World. First of all, it's so singable. Like, I was just like, ooh,
the line,
melody,
the line is really good.
It's and it makes you feel good. A lot of the music that is being put out right now, I had to realize why I didn't like it. And it was because there was no dynamic to it. It was all very flat. And I can't do that. Something has to move. Like, either the melody has to move, the rhythm in the melody has to move, the music has to have a rhythm that moves, that's not stagnant. And it's it's a pervasive thing right now that everything is very, very one level. And I'm like, yo, where did the dynamics go? Which is why I'm picking a lot of this music, I realized.
Nowadays, so many songs start at 6.
Yep.
And you only have from 6 to 10 to go to, but nothing soft in the beginning that invites you.
Nope.
And, I get really big about music, and I make comments, and I always say, I want all of these artists to continue doing what they're doing for the most part, because even if it's an artist that I don't like, that's those that have world platforms and are selling millions of tickets and making millions of dollars, when they get out of bed, they hire people.
Exactly.
They hire a technician. They hire a lighting designer. They hire a production manager. They hire those people are paying mortgages, putting children through college. But for me, it goes down to like my background, and I talk to a lot of people, and I say, have you at least taken a music appreciation class? And they're like, no. Well, that's why all of these songs are okay for you.
Exactly.
With the dot, 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 beat, beat, bop, boom. This is the song.
That's so true.
And they get bored by something that requires just a little more time.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I'm not saying just erase the bop, bop, bop music.
No.
But I don't like that it has such a foothold today that, and I'll say real music or crafted music is considered to be extra or too much or whatever.
I know.
I was I was talking to a friend of mine, and we were talking about a particular artist, and she is very mainstream. Won't say her name. She's very mainstream, but the majority of her work, when she's singing, the majority of the works are not at the center of the pitch. And I'm like, how is this person selling singles? Because, nobody sells albums anymore because the industry's not set up that way. How is this person selling all of this major platforms, touring, all this kind of stuff? And I'm like, it's kind of because the arts are deteriorating.
Yes.
They're taking it out of schools.
Out of schools. That's the biggest thing for me, I think.
Yeah, the majority of people that are singing now learn it on their own. They learn it by listening to the radio, looking at videos or whatever. Nobody's at the piano, ding, 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 la, 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 ding, 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 la. Nobody's at the piano matching pitch.
Nope.
Nobody's understanding vocal dynamics. Nobody's really being taught how to blend. Not on like mainstream.
Yeah.
Like, I showed a friend of mine a clip of Gladys Knight. It was the Grammys, I think it was 1976. And she sang every nominee's song.
Oh,
she sang like a 15-minute section of every nominee.
Oh my
and
God.
I was like, this was a time when mainstream required a bit more talent. And I'm glad these kids are making money. I'm glad people are pulling all these millions and everything. I just wish there was more room for
A balance.
for the good stuff. I wish people had more of an appreciation for live musicians. Like people always talk about, I love music, and 10 bands will come to their city in the span of a month, and they won't go see any of them.
Nope.
Because they're not on the radio or they're not on billboards. And so listening to the two songs you just played, it reminded me, firstly, that the best music today is from independents.
Yep.
And it also reminded me that I came up during a good time.
Yes.
Had good examples. You had good examples.
Yep.
Your parents, amazing examples. Like the backgrounds that we come from, that's kind of dying away.
Yeah.
Or it's big in small pockets.
Yeah.
And listen to the line on his song. It was amazing. It was the cookout. It was the car ride.
Yes.
It was a family reunion.
Yes.
It was like the school dance.
Yes.
You know, and they both offered something that was real, and it made me want to listen for the content, because
Yes.
we're now at a time where everybody's focused on the beat.
Yep.
I had someone say a while back, when it was the Remy Ma and somebody beef or whatever, and her response, I said, yo, love her to death. I said, but she got completely off the
the beat.
pocket.
Yep.
She got off the beat. And I said, an MC never did that back in the day.
Nope.
Like, if you were battling, if you had the mic, if you got off, boo, go sit down, come back next
Exactly.
week when you get it together. And somebody who is a producer, I won't call their name, who is a producer, said, who cares about that? She was telling the truth. I was like, no,
That's not
this
it.
is an MC battle.
Exactly.
It's supposed to be on the music, on the pocket. I dare you to go to Ailey and ask one of those dancers to be off the music. I dare you to go to City Ballet and ask one.
I have a huge pet peeve, and I don't understand. Well, I know it's partially because singing and rapping are much more accessible than having instruments, than learning an instrument and things like
Right.
that. So so I would think that the standard of excellence would be higher because it is accessible.
Right.
However, it is not.
Right.
And everybody and their mama thinks they can sing because they're imitating whatever they hear, and they hear that they sound like the other person that they're imitating.
Yeah.
And there is this lack of standard for vocalists of all kinds, MCs, singers, whatever you want to call yourself. The standard is so low. If a beat is trash, somebody will say this beat is trash.
Yeah.
They will not say, yo, that girl can't sing.
Right.
And like you could be, I mean, I will call people out all the time because as a vocalist and as a vocal teacher, I'm not going to let other people think that that's crafted well,
Right.
that's that's good technique,
Right.
that you are doing something well. You might be telling a story nicely, but for me, in a perfect world, in the utopia of a crafted song, it's
Right.
going to be, crafted well vocally, crafted well written, crafted well, but the music. And we lost that full package. But in other arts, in other forms, you can't step on a stage and not have it. If you're a
Right.
whack dancer and you go to a b-boy battle or whatever, and you're whack, you'll be pushed out.
Yeah.
Like singing and emceeing are ones that people, especially on mainstream levels, are not going to check. Possibly because of their worship of celebrity, possibly because of their work. Like, it's not about the music, it's about the persona that the person now has. And it frustrates the bejesus out of me because then people come to me, oh, you're just so hard. Yes, I'm hard because you know how many thousands of dollars I spent to sing like this?
Listen.
First of all. Second of all, do you know how many hours were spent to be able to do this at my level?
Yeah.
And you might not know me from this lamp, but like, hello lamp.
Yeah. That's true. I was, while I was in school and after I graduated, I taught in the summer camp, the enrichment camp for A&T. Each department had a camp.
Yeah.
And so we had the kids, and I had one of the weeks the kids, they was like, you're our teacher? I was like, well, I'm assisting my professor. She's the actual teacher, but I'm her assistant, but I'll be with you most of the time. And they said, so wait, you're an actor? I said, yes. I said, I'm an actor singer. And one of the little kids said, well, I ain't never seen you on TV.
Exactly.
Just hood attitude. I loved it. Well, I ain't never seen you on TV. And I was like, darling, the majority of our nation's actors and singers will never be on television.
Nope.
They won't ever be on a billboard. I said, but that doesn't take away from anything that they're able to do. I was in a show one time in a city, and one of the young ladies came up to me and she asked me, she was like, why am I always losing my voice? Oh my gosh. And you know, you can sit in a rehearsal, a group of singers, and just from our ear, we can hear how somebody's producing their sound, and we'll say, they ain't gonna last a week. She gonna be dead the first week of the run. Because you can hear and see them physically doing the wrong stuff. So I was talking to her. I said, well, darling, you're singing for the majority through tension. I said, and when you're actually on your air a little bit, you're a bit too breathy, so that's drying out your vocal folds. I said, and when it comes time for you to put some power behind it, all you have is tension and a dry vocal fold. But so they're not actually, you're not phoning, they're not moving as they should, because you've worn them out just on yourself. Not a lack of sleep, not having too many drinks, God forbid, not smoking, all that kind of stuff, because your mechanics are not in tune. You're doing the wrong thing. And she was like, oh, okay, that sounds pretty good. She then comes to me the next day. She was like, well, I'm going to this lady. She's a coach for a lot of celebrities. So, I mean, she has credentials, as if the fact that she coached a celebrity alone gives her credentials. And so this one was $150 an hour, and she booked 4 sessions. Let's do the math. $600. She came back to me. She said, you know, I spent all that money, and she was telling me the same stuff that you were telling me at rehearsal. I said, so could you cut me a check?
For real.
You know, and a lot of people, I asked this one girl who was giving so much critique. I said, darling, do you understand your thoracic from your abdominal cavity and what sits in the middle?
No.
Actually, I said, do your lungs have any muscular ability? She was like, what? I said, do you understand how we breathe as human beings and how we breathe at night so we don't suffocate? I said, your brain tells your diaphragm to expand and contract. That's how we exist when we're knocked out in REM, whatever stage of REM sleep. So a lot of times people talk, and that's why, have you at least had a music appreciation class?
At least.
A lot of, and when we talk about certain things, and you know, we can go in as a community of artists, but then when you have the general public, like a real estate agent, an accountant, or a PE teacher, they try to come into the situation with how they feel. And we as trained artists, darling, that feeling is going to last you but so long. Correct. You need some technique.
You need something.
Listen, you're not always going to want to hit the gig. You're not going to love every song. I have earned so much money singing stuff that I did not particularly respect.
Listen.
But this rent is so damn high in New York.
So much money.
I've had to sing certain pop songs on band gigs. I've had to sing backup for people. I was like, oh my gosh, could they at least cover the sound? Could they at least? At least. You know, so it's always that back and forth of, are we being too heady over there? But no, this is
because this is needed. And just because it's not acknowledged as a craft as much as, say, a mechanic would be, I think that artists can do that for the world. I do. And I think if we, especially us that are not celebrity, continue to go back to the communities. And, you know, we're losing all of our programs. All of them. And one of the things that I'm trying to do, and I'm not trying to do it, I'm doing it, is building a mentorship program for young artists, and also for adults who want to express themselves, because I found that music is such a therapeutic thing, writing, performing, but there are ways, and it also helps with body image. So I'm exploring those things and trying to bring those back to my communities to educate, but to also foster respect and appreciation for the arts, and to foster respect and appreciation for themselves.
And to take away some of the weight and validity of celebrity, like you mentioned before. I ask people oftentimes, how do you build this diehard faith in celebrities, people that you don't know, you have not met? And I tell people all the time, so many of them, if you happen to meet them, you will be sadly disappointed.
Sadly.
That's why I love that clip of, it was an interview Whitney was doing. She said, my mother taught me to treat celebrities like people, so that if you do meet them and they are a general person who may be having a bad day or who really is an asshole,
Exactly.
your idea of them won't be tarnished. You won't walk away sad with your tail tucked between your legs. And I feel like so many people don't have anything that they can look up to themselves, or they can't look within themselves for what their light or their greatness is.
Absolutely.
So they project that lack onto celebrities. If they're poor, they project that onto people that are wealthy, and they assign such a value to people that are almost absolutely personally intangible.
Yep.
Like they most of us will never meet
Our
the
heroes.
people that we
Nope.
we really adore and respect. I didn't get a chance to meet Aretha. When she died, I was one of the nights I was like listening to her Laughing on the Outside album, and I was like in tears. I was like, I never got to meet her or like shake her hand. And it wasn't that I like worshipped her or I didn't know her as a person, but she gave so much amazing art, so much amazing work to the world. I don't always fan out for people, but this is the third time we did Preacher's Wife, but the first time when we did, and I met Loretta Devine, I was like, listen, I was like, I don't care what you say. You're my auntie. We're family. This is what we're doing.
Oh, I love her so much.
And she was like, okay, baby. All right. She wasn't that raspy, y'all. I've been singing. But she was in a very clear, high-placed soprano voice. But I was able to let her know that I respected her work. And I always come to people with respect for their work.
And that's the word that we tend to forget, especially the general public, is the work.
Yeah.
You know, even the artists that you love, put some work into it, but don't celebrate the person, celebrate their work.
So, yeah.
If that's what you want, if that's what you want to celebrate the work, and then maybe you might have a better appreciation for what it takes, what you actually like, and what you're actually being fed.
And a good friend of mine, she's one of the most amazing singers on the planet, Tony Scruggs, always says, music gets in our cells.
Yes.
It gets in our bodies. That's why older people, when they spin a song by the Temptations, or they spin a Barbara Streisand song, people go into a place of memory, a spiritual memory, emotional, all that, because they were touched by their work at a certain time. And I also think that a lot of people, it's kind of like me. When I was a kid and I would go to church, I thought that the singers, those women that would get up and wear the house down, and oh my God, quartet singers,
oh my God,
some of the most amazing singers and performers, I thought it was like magic. I thought they had some kind of gift that came down from the clouds when I was like a 6-year-old boy. I thought it was some kind of gift. But then when I started training and I started understanding, okay, placement, air, phrasing, how to drive a song, and then I started listening to older people, the way Aretha came up, because all of those greats were in her house every week. Can you imagine growing up with Otis Redding, Sam Cooke, like the Clara Ward singers, Mahalia, like the Caravans in your living room, and you get to listen to them and hear what they do, and they would literally tell her, sing it like this. Can you imagine? Can you imagine sitting there?
I can't.
And like they're telling you, okay, sing it this way, and you take that and put your spin on it. You know, it was a while back. I think it was 2010. It was the Prince Across America tour. A friend of mine called me. This was, I was still in Greensboro. A friend of mine called me. He was like, "Hey, can you do this PA job?" And I was like, "What is it? What show is it?" I didn't want to do like just some traveling circus show or something, you know. And he was like, "No, it's Prince's tour." And I was like, definitely. I called ahead that Saturday for work. I was like, I'm not going to email. I'm not going to be there. We were in the Coliseum and Prince came in, and he just came in and said, "Hi, how's everybody doing?" And I just sat there like this.
Yep. Just stone faced, like.
And it wasn't because it was like, because him as like a human being, it was his work, knowing all the instruments he played, knowing how much music he put out, knowing how many concerts he did for free to raise money and awareness and consciousness in different areas.
Amazing.
You know, so it's always that battle that we have. We're artists, we live this, we breathe this every single day. We buy loaves of bread on our craft and what we do, and it's always about the work. I was in probably my junior year in college. I was like, I get it.
Yeah.
The only celebrity is the discipline and the craft.
That is it.
I don't care how famous you are as a singer. You had to learn how to sing
Yep.
in key on pitch.
Yep. Can we just say that again? The only celebrity
is the discipline,
is
the
the
craft.
discipline. That is it.
Because
That's
without it, none of these celebrities would exist.
No, none of them. Darell,
Yes.
can you say that again?
The only star, the only celebrity is the craft
I think
and the discipline.
I think that's a great way to end today.
Yeah.
Except for giving people your social medias and shits.
Oh, Facebook, I'm Darell J. Hunt.
Yep.
I have two.
Yes, you do.
The one with Adabisi as the profile picture is the one that I use when I'm in Facebook jail. You see how I put that together?
Yep.
Oz, jail, prisoner.
I get it.
So I get thrown in Facebook jail a lot because,
You do.
I kind of have my opinions.
Ruffle feathers.
Yeah. My Instagram is Noont. It's
Yep.
NOONT. That's the nickname my mother gave me, and I'll have her for life. My Twitter is Darell J Sings. I tweet here and there, but those are my social medias.
I love you. And is there anything else that you can tell the people before you get out of here today?
Do what's right
There it is.
in everything. If it's making a pot of grits, if it's washing your clothes, or if it's standing up for injustice, do what's right.
Do what's right. Boom. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you. This has been What's Really Good Radio
Ow.
on Skies Crescent Radio. I think we covered what's really good.
Yeah.
I think so.
For now.
Today was good. If you want to catch the rest of the playlist that I had for today, it's gonna be on Skies Crescent Radio, and Jade is gonna share it because there are a couple songs we didn't get to. Also, you can follow me at JB_SoulNerd, and you can find all my stuff there. I will be back in October on the 4th Sunday at my usual time at 5:00. Check us out, and check us out everywhere. Skies Crescent Radio, # What's Really Good. Thank you all. Have a lovely day. Peace out.
Bye-bye.
Before you get a boyfriend, please pardon me for keeping distance. It's not that I don't seek persistence, but I like what this is, how I witness. So I hope you don't look at it as me being different, cause you know I don't got no secret mission. I reside between your thighs, maybe switch positions. Now we looking eye to eye, I hear your thoughts, listen. Maybe I already love you and just won't admit it. Maybe I fell in love with you the day I saw you. Maybe you fell in love with me the night we did it. Maybe you already love me and just won't spit it. One thing I can say I love is how you ain't tripping over the holes. You're slipping under unknown. Just kissing, rubbing your kitten, got fingers all in your ain't dipping in with the old. Just slipping out of the clothes and ripping out of the robe. It's getting out of control. Like, before you get a boyfriend, girl. I'm ready to rock and roll, proper spliffs what she got. She know how to scroll, all expenses paid when she paid the toll. And when I'm in the rush, she understands they give and go. Dominance prominent, the mutual is crucial, yo. Put my medal in your microwave so we can watch it blow. And if you need anything, don't hesitate to let me know. And I'll be there in the jiffy with the stiffy and the piffy. When it comes to you, I have not because I ask not. I'm spaced out, I'm an astronaut, letting time fly by and whatnot. But you never throw shade, though the sun hot. We only know sunblock, my closure blinker. Feel the love, we never speak of. While I get to know you deeper, while I mix the track, while you mix the margarita. While you stop the dance, while I'm turning up the speaker. No, I'm not that type to link up by the collar, cause I'ma see another bad joint and wanna holler. But maybe we could build it, just not a problem. But either way, I just had to keep it honest, like before you get a boyfriend, girl. boyfriend, girl. Oh, before you get a boyfriend. Before you get a boyfriend, girl. Oh, before you get a boyfriend.
Yo, I'm digging your taste, man. You got an unskippable playlist. Real, recognize real. You know the team could really use you this season. What? What team? The team. I'm talking about the football team. Bringing it every game day. Who gonna hype up the squad? You are. Click now to bring the vibes to playfootball.com.
Me so happy now, me so Mississippi. Kiss me till I drown. Everybody think they know me. Don't nobody really know me. Here with him a little ways from now. Empty. Everything we ever was empty. Empty fucking cussing. I know I'm your bitch, but you my bitch too. Making money, little TM. DM your resume to industry. Sympathy held you down. Don't down. We love you. Ain't nobody around. Masquerade like I'm empty. Empathy was empathy only when you was into me. Kiss me back to save ya, happy, happy. This song ain't even about you, daffy duck. Laffy taffy, daffy ducky, fucky all around. For me on the ground, for me in the bed, too scared. Let me with your eyes closed, cigarette cruise shit. This song ain't even about you, daffy duck. This song gon' make me go fuck your daddy. This song the reason I be clean up who I send them to Addy. It's like a remedy for nothing, it's me French and Italian. Me so happy now, me so Mississippi, kiss me till I drown. Everybody think they know me. Don't nobody really know me. Me so happy now, me so Mississippi, kiss me till I drown. Everybody think they know me. Don't nobody really know me.
Quit looking out the window. Go find yourself. Don't get the bag with your kinfolk. Down your road. Quit looking out the window. Go find yourself. Don't get the bag with your kinfolk. Down your road.
I knew you never loved me, but I fucked you anyway. I guess a bitch like to gamble. I guess a bitch like to lonely. Who niggas know me? Me gotta tone me. Ooh, I'm really feeling like I made this bitch. I know that's my ego. I know I'm just empty. The sentiment for the people. The sacrifice for my wholesome. I bought the church for the steeple. I bought you game 5 tickets. Made my pussy the sequel. So you really don't think about me? You really don't miss me? The way I lullaby by your brokenness. Believe me, I'm ripping. But you struggling to lay yourself. Believe me, that's karma. You want a nasty bitch psychiatrist that cook like your mama. And all you got was me. But I love you even though you're not meant to be. I still love you. I hope you find everything that you want. And she loves you. Everything is everything. Just know that I love you.
Looking out the window. Go find yourself. Come get the bag with your kinfolk. Down your world. Quit looking out the window. Go find yourself. Come get the bag with your kinfolk.
Yeah, I've been thinking a lot. Yeah, yeah. Hey. Come on. It's been way too long since I seen you, looked you in your eyes. Ride around the town and staying out, don't wanna say goodbye. Everything's so different now, you're just what I'm missing now. But I know that I can't have you back, I guess I'm tripping now. Yeah. Sometimes I start missing you crazy, ain't nothing quite like you. Love like this keeps going and going, I cannot forget you. Oh, oh, yeah, yeah, yeah. Ride around town in a hoochie. Way before I ever had a groupie. Back when I used to wear the same 5 shirts. Way before I ever had Gucci. Way before I ever had a rollie on. Talking back when I dropped Corleone. Picking up an 8 that my homie got. Fucking in the car, that's the only spot. Back when I felt more free. Back when I smoked more weed. Back when I drove up and down 92 with a view of the moon and you in my passenger seat. That was so good, now it's all gone. Is what it is cause we both moved on. At least we had memories. Now we also got this song, yeah. It's been way too long since I seen you, looked you in your eyes. Ride around the town and staying out, don't wanna say goodbye. Everything's so different now, you're just what I'm missing now. But I know that I can't have you back, I guess I'm tripping now, yeah. Sometimes I start missing you crazy, ain't nothing quite like you. Love like this keeps going and going, I cannot forget you. Oh, 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 yeah. If you saw me now, would you recognize me or would you call me out? I know it's been a while, but I'm still me. But honestly, it's been so long that I wouldn't be offended if you didn't even feel me. There's a gap now, big enough to make us forget how we felt in the past now. Everything moves so fast now. I miss things going slower, I miss us being closer. I mean, I got a good thing, but I feel like I don't even really know her. This is a new life, I didn't do you right, but I got a second chance to improve my appreciation, I should take it. Sorry that I ever got jaded. It's been way too long since I seen you, looked you in your eyes. Ride around the town and staying out, don't wanna say goodbye. Everything's so different now, you're just what I'm missing now. But I know that I can't have you back, I guess I'm tripping now, yeah. Sometimes I start missing you crazy, ain't nothing quite like you. Love like this keeps going and going, I cannot forget you. Oh, 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 oh,
Yo, I'm digging your taste, man. You got an unskippable playlist. Real, recognize real. You know the team could really use you this season. What? What team? The team. I'm talking about the football team. Bringing it every game day. Who gonna hype up the squad? You are. Click now to bring the vibes to playfootball.com.
My regrets look just like texts I shouldn't send. And I got neighbors that more like strangers. We could be friends. I just need a way out of my head. I'll do anything for a way out of my head. In my own way, this feel like living some alternate reality. And I was drowning, but now I'm swimming through stressful waters to relief. Yeah, all the things I do. Spend a little time in hell. And what I won't tell you, I'll probably never even tell myself. Don't you know that sunshine don't feel right when you're inside all day? I wish it was nice out, but it looked like rain. Gray skies are drifting, not living forever. They told me it only gets better. My regrets look just like texts I shouldn't send. And I got neighbors that more like strangers. We could be friends. I just need a way out of my head. I'll do anything for a way out of my head.
In my thoughts and dreams, you and I were just you are everything and everything else, and you are good to me. You live on faithfully. You are everything that I wish that I could be. Up in front, headlights, preaching wrong and right. You gathered ashes, you blocked off the flashes, and you are wonderful, giving me all the world in bits and pieces so I could create them more. So well now that your secret's out, oh
loves company. I don't know.
Everybody loves somebody that's something green.
Hey, misery loves company.
Everybody